January 3rd, San Juan. It's round 7. Stephanie Han is ahead on every scorecard. Her right hand is landing clean. She's been the better fighter all night. And then there's Holly Holm, 44 years old, and just starting to figure out the puzzle. Her output is up. Her movement's sharper. She's coming. Then their heads collide. Doctors step in. The fight's over. On the scorecards, we had 69-65, 69-64, 68-65. It's clean on paper, but it's messy in reality. Han kept the belt, but nobody really got the answer. May 30th, El Paso, Han's hometown, they're going to run it back. And this rematch isn't even the best reason to tune in. We have 4 world title fights. Every champion on this card walked in with something unresolved. And today, I'm breaking down all 4 fights. And the fight that you should be most excited about isn't even the one on the top of the poster. I'm Sarah Cunningham, and I'm your host of Between the Rounds. So let's get into it. So we've Han versus Holm, the rematch for the WBA lightweight title. So we've Stephanie Han. She's 12-0. Now we know she's a police officer, a mother, and she currently retains the WBA lightweight championship belt. Now she won that belt with a first round knockout and hasn't lost a professional fight yet. She's 35 and she gets better with every fight. Then we've Holly Holm. She's a boxing Hall of Famer, 3-weight world champion, the woman who flatlined Ronda Rousey and changed the entire trajectory of women's combat sports. She came back to boxing after 12 years of doing other things. She is 44 and she wants one more shot at a title. Now, most people looked at the scorecards from the first fight and think Han cruised, but she actually didn't. She was excellent for the first 5 rounds. That right hand was her best friend. She set the pace, she controlled the distance, and she forced Holm into fighting on her terms. But then Holmes adapted. She was able to double the left. She moved more. She closed round 2 with a combination that said, I'm still here. And then by the 7th round, she was actually the busier fighter. And then the headbutt happened. The doctor stepped in and we went to the scorecards. We got the result, but we didn't quite get a conclusion. So the question for this fight is straightforward. Can Holm solve the right hand? Han timed her coming in beautifully over and over because Holm got pretty predictable with her shot selection. Holm is a southpaw who likes to work behind the jab, which is a great style until someone is catching you every single time. So she needs a different angle. She needs to become less predictable. She needs to pull Han forward, make her reach, counter off the back foot instead of walking onto all the shots. She has the experience to do all of that. It's whether the reflexes cooperate at 44. That's the real gamble. And look, then there's the crowd. Han fights out of El Paso. This is her building. So in a close fight, that's not nothing. My read, Han is the better boxer today. She's younger, sharper, unbeaten. But Holm is dangerous because she's a Hall of Famer with 20 years of combat experience across 2 sports and absolutely nothing left to lose. So if this fight crosses the 7th round, past the point where the last one did, we're going to see the best of both of them and who really wants this most. Next up, we have Juarez and Valle. So I did say the most dangerous fight on this card isn't the main event. Here it is. We have Lourdes Juarez. She's 39-4, the WBC junior flyweight champion, part of a boxing dynasty from Mexico. Now, she won the world title at super flyweight in 2020. She lost it and then rebuilt from scratch. She then won the light flyweight belt in 2024, defended it twice, beat Jessica Nuri Plata by majority decision last time out. If you know that name, you know that that's not a gift. She earned every round. Then we have Yokasta Valle. She's 34-3 with 10 knockouts. She's been the WBC strawweight champion from Costa Rica. And she's had many credible wins on her resume. But here's why this fight gets special attention. Valle is moving up. She was a strawweight champion and she's coming for the junior flyweight belt. So we have 2 champions from 2 divisions in the same ring. And at 108 pounds, that almost never happens. And they're about to go 10 rounds for the right to call themselves the best in the world. Now look, neither of them are power punchers. Valle has 10 stoppages in 37 fights, and Juarez has 5 in 43. This will be a chess match. Distance, timing, who imposes their rhythm, who's got the better boxing IQ. So if you watch boxing for craft, cancel your plans and tune into this fight. Juarez has the size. She's been at this weight longer, and she's defending on home soil for MVP. Valle has a cleaner resume, but she's the smaller fighter moving up. And if Valle can't get inside, Juarez is going to keep her on the end of combinations for 10 whole rounds. Okay, next up we have Amanda Serrano. She's 48-4-1 with 31 knockouts, and she's a 7-weight world champion. So what's left for Amanda? Well, she's actually looking for the all-time knockout record. She said it herself. That's the mission now. This is that fight. Now, that doesn't mean Hanson can't fight. She's 17-2 with 13 knockouts, and she has a 76% stoppage rate at featherweight. But when we actually do a little bit of research into the names of who she's fought and beat, her best wins are regional German titles and club-level opponents in Eastern Europe. So she's never fought anyone close to Serrano's caliber. And that's the real gap here in experience. So the question for this fight isn't whether Serrano wins. The kickboxing timing could catch Serrano off guard early. It's a different rhythm than what pure boxers bring. If she lands clean in the first 2 rounds, pay attention. But if Serrano walks through it and starts pouring on volume, this will end early and we learn nothing new. And then just a quick hit on the 4th world title fight. We have Desley Robinson. She's Australian. Now, she won the IBF middleweight belt on a fractured foot and unified it 4 months later. She signed with MVP, stopped her last opponent in 2 rounds. Nobody's talking about her, but they should be. Now, she goes up against Mary Spencer, who's Canadian. She's also a former amateur world champion, but she lost her WBA super welterweight title to Michaela Mayer last October. She's 41. She's moving up to middleweight. So this is the fight that tells her whether the world title window is still open or whether it's just closed. The odds are tight, and this is a genuine coin flip, sitting on an undercard of a stacked show. So if you are flipping between channels on Saturday night, don't wait for the main event to tune in, because you'll miss this. So we have 4 world title fights, all women, all on ESPN, all 3-minute rounds, from a promotion that didn't exist 2 years ago. So we've had MVPW-01, which was in London. We've had MVPW-02, which was at MSG in New York. And now we've got MVP3 in El Paso. They're building a circuit, and the talent level is getting deeper on every card. The first event, sure, it had novelty on its side. The second had momentum. This third one has to prove that this model works. Saturday night tells us whether this is a platform or a moment, and I've got my fingers crossed for MVP. So we've got MVP3, May 30th, El Paso. ESPN, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 4 titles, 4 fighters with something to finish. I'm Sarah Cunningham, and this has been the breakdown from Between the Rounds. And I'll see you after the bell on Saturday night.